Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I will be teaching you about Rec Room Gore. Now, Rec Room Gore can be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Tedious, because Rec Room has obviously the code of conduct, which we all want to follow. There's very fine lines between what you can have in your room that's gory and what you can't. Now, I like to make my gore very minimalistic because I don't want to get my room taken down. So I personally also use very less gore as I can, if that makes sense. I don't use it as much as I want to, but that's only because I don't want to get my rooms taken down. You should probably do the same thing. Always watch how much gore you have in your rooms. Now, I'm going to be teaching you about gore, how to make it, and what to look out for. So, first sequence about gore. Kind of already told you the basics of what you need to know when making gore. Make sure all your colors are blended together. Make sure it's not too graphic. And if it is, email a Rec Room moderator, or you can ask me. Send me a picture on Discord, which is in my description, and ask me, or of course somebody else, if this is okay. Whatever you're making is okay, because it's always good to have another person's opinion on what you're making, especially with gore. But that's with anything. Like, always ask for a second-hand opinion or even a third-hand opinion, because it always helps you see what you can't. It helps you see from other perspectives. Alright, second sequence. How to make it. Now, if we turn our eyes over here, we have models. Now, these models, I did not make these models. These models are not mine, but I did do the gore here on the model. This is a before model. You know, you have the normal hands, you have the body, you have the face, but you go in and you actually turn all of this into gore. Now, the materials I recommend using for gore would probably be dirt and carpet. Now, the only reason why you don't want to use anything solid is because texture matters in Rec Room. Always make sure you have the right textures. Like, see how this looks like a piece of clothing? If I were to turn that solid, it would just look kind of really bad. So, here we go. The two tools that are used to make gore, mostly, are tubes and ribbon. Ribbon will come in handy a lot more than you think. You know, it just seems like a bad tool, but actually it helps you outline the surface of what you're doing. Now, you can also do the same thing that ribbon can with tube. It's super simple. Just mess with your settings and you should be good to go. I'm going to go here. We'll teach you guys how to outline first. Go 0.2 for the outlines. Tube faucets, really doesn't matter, but for the smoothest, I recommend 10 as usual. And then you're going to go recolor, go to color, go to garnet, make it a little lighter, just because you don't want your blood to be bright, because that's not how it usually is. Once it gets out of the skin and dries up, it's a dark red, a deep red, a ruby red, if you will. So you're going to go to dirt, you're going to make it about 500. Of course, it doesn't have to be exact. Most people like it exact. And of course, we can mess around with textures and materials and colors, but for now, I'm going to stick to this. If I need to change it, I will. So, you're going to go into your model. Yes, your game will be very laggy, but you're just going to delete a small section of it. Just like this. And once you have your desired shape, you're going to go in, just like this one. You're going to actually kind of recolor some of what is there because you want to make it seem like it's torn. Kind of like that. That looks good, but we're going to take some of these. We're just going to kind of cover it up. And of course you can do this however you like, but I just like to make sure that everything kind of looks cleaned up, etc., etc. And obviously, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing's perfect, okay? Always remember that as well when you are making your Rec Room models. Now, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the process here so you don't have to wait for me to finish this up, so we can just go ahead and move on. Okay, so now that you have your base, again, we are going to go in with Garnet, go to Custom, make it a little bit lighter, and switch your material to dirt. And again, make sure you have your radius on 0.4, your height on 0.2, your facets on 10. And always, always, make sure you have smooth tubes on and connected nearby tubes on. Trust me, it will help you in the long run. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we are actually going to make these a bit smaller, the texture just a bit smaller. I'm going to go ahead and go in here and we're going to outline. Okay, now that you have your outline, you can go in, you can change it, you can do whatever. Yeah, I think I would recommend having a little bit of a smaller material and maybe a bit darker. I'm starting to reconsider what I said. Yeah, that looks a bit better. So now, just as here, you're gonna make the material oh so small, and you're gonna make it a bit way darker than what you need, and then you're just gonna go in, you're gonna make a big hole right where your wound is. Make sure you cover it all up just like that. What is my tube doing? You have your wound. Now, what you're gonna make sure is you have at least a few ridges and bumps just to make it look a little more realistic. So what I do is I come in here. No, that's not what I asked you to do. Oh my goodness. I come in here, I just make a few of these guys. Like that. And I am going to probably change my colors up a bit in the end, but this is just a simple tutorial, so we really don't need to get into colors and minerals. If you want to get into colors and minerals, let me know, and I will teach you guys about those also. But for now, let's focus on Gore. So now what you're going to do is you're going to click Done. You're going to go to your shapes, and you're going to get a cylinder. Now, this might seem silly, right? Like, why do you need a cylinder? Well, you're going to manipulate it in your hands, and this is going to be kind of like what we had here. Well, exactly what we had here. You're just trying to make it seem more realistic. Now, the good thing is we have all these tools that give us access to do so. There we go. So we're just gonna keep moving along here, keep putting those, and it looks like we are done. See, come in here, it'll get pretty laggy, so I don't recommend doing that. But you know what I will do? I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna take these colors, because this was actually one of my first Gore models. And if you want it like extruding out, you can also do what I did here and kind of make it come out. But I made this go in because this is an in wound. This one would be an out wound that's coming out of there. But I forgot to do that to that one. So always know what your wound is going to be before making it. I always recommend doing that. And you know, you can make them different colors. They don't all have to be the same color. Just like that. And you can make the cylinders a little thicker than what we have here. And I'll show you an example of that. If I can grab it. So you can just make them a little thicker, not too thick, but this would be an example of, I don't know, an artery maybe? I don't know the human anatomy, so don't ask me those questions. Okay, now we're done with the torso. Moving on to hands. Hands, in my opinion, are probably the easiest, unless you want to make bones sticking out or something. Because really, all you have to do is come in here, manipulate it, and cover it however you'd like. You can cover it like that, and always make sure swatches are going to be your lifesaver here. Because if you have something colored that you never wanted colored before, you just go there and boom. So I'll go ahead and speed up this process for you, and I'll explain more in the end. And just like that, you have 2 Gore hands. This one you can protrude as like a hand wound or anything like that, but this is how I do my hand, Gore hand, whatever the fuck. And then with fists, I'm not going to show you those because we already have an example over here. You can make those however you'd like. You put them on the fingers, you put them on the thumb, you can have a knife going through back here, whatever you would like, you can do. Now, again, be careful with how you make your Gore and stuff like that, because it can be very frustrating with Rec Room's code of conduct, because there's like, yeah, there's way more to the Rec Room code of conduct than just that. For head wounds, I mean, same thing, just make sure you don't delete out the back like I accidentally did here. Same thing, just go for it really, and you know, always make sure to have fun when you're making this, because making Gore's fun. In my opinion, making Gore's so much fun, and I want you guys to have fun too. And of course, everybody has their own ways of making things and making Gore, etc. So I hope you guys learned something new from this video, and if you want to see more tutorials, make sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on, and I'll see you guys next time.